Well, there's no denying it now. On his way out the door, former President Joe Biden made fools out of all of the people who defended his integrity and honor, and he validated and vindicated all of the accusations made against him by those who rightly deemed him the head of the Biden crime family. With about 15 minutes left in his soon-to-be-forgotten presidency, the mentally incapacitated former chief executive issued a blanket preemptive pardon of his entire family. Need I remind you, 4 years ago, all the talking heads were telling you that this is the kind of thing that Donald Trump would do, and that it would be a clear indication of just how guilty and corrupt he was. Remember this?
Is there an innocent explanation for someone to seek preemptive pardons for family members? Would you do that if you knew you were innocent and just worried about outside forces?
The answer to that is going to be no. If you haven't done anything wrong, you sit there and go, what do you need a preemptive pardon for?
If he pardons people preemptively, he's essentially telling the public that these people have committed crime.
The audacity of a president who's so clearly concerned about his own criminal culpability and that of his family members, that pardons are a major obsession with him.
Would you see that, and I asked Preet Bharara this question, as essentially an admission of guilt?
I certainly would view it that way. I think millions of Americans would view it that way. If there was no belief in criminality, why would he think a pardon was necessary?
And incredibly, Biden himself joined in that very chorus.
President Trump is reportedly considering a wave of preemptive pardons. Does this concern you?
Well, it concerns me in terms of what kind of precedent it sets and how the rest of the world looks at us as a nation of laws and justice. You're not going to see in our administration that kind of approach to pardons.
Life comes at you fast, doesn't it? All the things they told you Trump would do, Joe did. All the corruption they said Trump embodied, Biden manifested. All the dishonesty and all the sleaze they said existed in the Trump White House burst out of the bowels of the Biden regime in its final fleeting moments. Mary McCord, the Democrat activist that framed Trump officials and blasted the notion of pardoning January 6th rioters, herself received a pardon from Joe Biden for her crimes. Liz Cheney, after falsely accusing House members of asking for a pardon from President Trump, herself received a pardon from President Biden. Adam Kinzinger, who said repeatedly,
"The only reason I know to ask for a pardon is because you think you've committed a crime."
I only know of one reason to seek a pardon, because you're worried that you're guilty, that you committed a crime.
He just received a preemptive pardon from President Biden. Now, please understand, I don't expect it from a movement and a media that can claim President Trump's handful of pardons, quote, applied his own standard of justice for his allies, but President Biden's unprecedented abuse of pardon power simply guarded people against Trump's politically driven prosecutions. Now, we all know who they are, but the evidence is now all there. The American people see it. So I am very hopeful that there is at least a small contingent on the left that after the last 24 hours are finally finding the courage to take inventory of the corruption that they have harbored and enabled and ask the fairly obvious question.
Are we the baddies?